Hello and welcome to Sew Amelia, my channel where I talk all about making a handmade wardrobe for me and my children. Welcome to this week's video, which is a week in my sewing life. Hello and welcome back. If you are a subscriber, it's great to have you here again watching my sewing journey. If you are new, welcome, and I hope you enjoy watching this week in my life. Today is Monday and it is Monday night. I've just been running around doing bath time and bedtime, and the children are now in bed and hopefully will soon be asleep. It's been one of those very busy Mondays, but I'm really glad to be up in the sewing room now, and I thought I would share what I'm working on with you tonight. So if you watched last week's video, you will know that recently I purchased some beautiful wide wale corduroy from Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door, and I'll see if the camera will pick that up. And I also decided to line that with some beautiful cotton poplin from Pigeon Wishes. So I didn't get much sewing time over the weekend, but at the end of last week I started working on this skirt. So I'll share what I've done so far. I have managed to piece the whole skirt together, both front and back, and both the outside fabric and the lining fabric. And then what I'm working on at the moment is inserting the waistband and the invisible zip. Invisible zips can be so tricky. Now I have sewn the zip into the back, and now I'm just going to try and make sure that I sew over the zip at the top here before folding over the waistband, and then I will probably stitch that by hand just to make that a really neat finish. I'm not a big fan of stitching in the ditch, and I'd rather do it by hand once and know that it's done neatly without having to go back and back and back, as I often do when I miss certain parts when I'm stitching in the ditch. Anyone who has brilliant tips for stitching in the ditch, do leave them in the comments below. It's not my favourite, and I would much rather just do it by hand. So after I finish that zip and the waistband, that project just needs to be hemmed. So I will probably try it on and decide on where I would like that to finish, and then hem the skirt and the lining, and that one will be finished. So I'm really looking forward to getting that done. I think the skirt will be such a practical item in my wardrobe, and I am hoping I will get lots of wear out of that one. That's tonight's job, is to try and finish off this Camden skirt and get that done so that I can wear it. It's Wednesday, and I just thought I would pop on and have a brief chat about what I got up to yesterday as far as my sewing is concerned. So we did have a lovely day yesterday. My daughter absolutely adores the woods, so after we dropped her brothers off at school, we had a lovely ramble in our local woodland area, and then she had a great nap. I think she was exhausted, and I did manage to get my Bakerloo dress hack cut out of this corduroy. But whilst I was cutting it out, I did notice that the underside of the fabric is possibly not the most comfortable to have right next to my skin. And I do have slips and things, but I think I would prefer to line this because it has some polyester in it as well. It's slightly clingy, I think, or staticky. I just think though it would benefit from having a lining. It's so beautifully soft on the outside, so I think it would be lovely to wear. But I do think I'm going to line it. What I have done is I've ordered some lining from Minerva. Usually I have it in my stash, but I have used all of it up, right down to the very last dregs of the linings that I previously had when I made my Camden pinafore. So I have ordered some more, but I'm not sure that will be here this week in order to finish this for the week in sewing video that will go out on Saturday. So sadly I might have to park that one for now, but do come back for my January makes video when I hopefully will have had this finished, because it's all cut out now, and I have sewn the Bakerloo a couple of times, so I'm hoping it will come together quite quickly. But like I said, that might be one that gets made up next week rather than this week. So what I've decided to do is to sew up the hug hoodie and the slow pants. Now, despite the name, those are meant to be able to be sewn up quite quickly. So I'm hopeful that I'll be able to get those sewn up in the rest of this week and have a lovely new loungewear set to share with you. So the hug hoodie has such a lovely crossover feature at the front, and I'm really looking forward to making that one. And I just thought I'd share with you the process that I go through when I'm selecting my sizes. So the size chart for this is really lovely and detailed, and it has height and chest, waist, hip. It's got the length of the front, it's got the length of the arms and all sorts of things. Now I'm just under 5'5", which puts me in between size 8 and 10 for the top. And then my bust is 36 inches, which places me in about size 10. And then my hips fall into the size 12 to 14, somewhere in the middle of those two sizes. But this is more of a cropped finish, so it finishes just below the waist with that lovely crossover front detail. So I think if I make the size 10, looking at the finished garment measurements, the size 10 has a chest measurement of 40.5 inches, and the hem is also 40.5 inches, but again, when I measure that up against where it falls using the length measurement, that still gives me a couple of inches of ease. So I think that'll be fine, and I prefer my sweaters slightly more fitted anyway. You'll notice today I'm wearing a Me Made sweater. This is the Billy sweater, which I've talked about before, and I did size down on this one as well, just to give a slightly more fitted look, which is what I prefer. So that's what I'm going to do for the Hug hoodie in terms of sizes. I did think about grading to the 12 at the hips, but because it is a slightly shorter length, I'm not too concerned about that. And because of that crossover detail in the front, I'm just not sure how the grading would work. So I'm going to make it up in the size 10, risk it, see what happens, and hopefully it will be okay. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. So I have this beautiful navy sweatshirting, very plain, but I just thought in terms of loungewear, it's good to have something that's plain and it will go with so many different things. And this is a Mind the Maker sweatshirting, which I wanted to try for a really long time. It's lovely and warm and snuggly. So I will cut the sweatshirt from this and the hemband also from the sweatshirting, which is what they suggest in the pattern. And then I'll use the matching ribbing that I bought for the neckband and the cuffs. I could use the same fabric, but I need to hold some of this back for the slow pants. So the slow pants are a lovely relaxed jogger, and I was considering the Hudson pants, but I'm not sure about the tapered leg of those on me. I have a pair of tracksuit bottoms that I'm wearing today actually, and they are a straight leg jogger, which I think I prefer with my pear shape. So I'm going to go for these slow pants, and I'm going to make the version with the stripe at the side, and I'm going to make that stripe in the navy jersey that I just showed you, the sweatshirting, so that they sort of coordinate, which will be nice. And I'm making it in this beautiful, very gorgeously warm fleecy sweatshirting from the rag shop. But again, sizing wise for this one, I'm 5'5", which places me in a size 8. I'm kind of going to ignore that measurement for now because I know that with trousers I can just cut some off the length if they're too long at the end. I'm much more concerned about the fit around the waist and then making sure I've got enough room for my hips. So my waist is again 36 inches, which places me between a size 12 and 14. Size 12 is 29 inches and size 14 is 31 inches. But the finished measurement for the waistband for a size 12 is 30 inches. And my waist is 30 inches, not 36 inches. That's my bust. Anyway, it's been a long morning. So yes, my waist is 30 inches, which means I fall between a size 12 and a 14, and I'm going to make the size 12 because the finished measurement is 30 inches, which is bang on my waist measurement. And because there's elastic in the waist anyway, I think that will be fine. I'm 41 inches across the hips, which is a size 14. Now the finished measurements for the hips are 41 inches, but I think I would just like a little bit more ease in my hip than that. I want these to be quite comfortable and relaxed feeling joggers, and the size 16 is a finished measurement of 43 inches. So I'm actually going to grade out to a size 16 across the hip, just because I think that's the fit I prefer. I did grade that this morning using a tutorial that I found on the internet. I think it was a cashmere tutorial. I always find them so useful to follow along with. They're very detailed, they have great diagrams. So I just used that and my French curve ruler, and I graded out between a 12 at the waist and the 16 at the hips. So that's a lot of talk. I'm going to get on with some cutting out now. I feel like all I've been doing this week is cutting out, but I have finished my Camden skirt actually, so I will show you that tonight when I'm up in the sewing room. I'm going to stop waffling now. I'm going to get on with my cutting out, and I'll check back in with you tonight and let you know how I got on with the cutting out and the sewing up of those two patterns. See you later. Thursday night, I'm up in the sewing room and I thought I would share where I got up to with my Hug hoodie. So I had about 20 minutes last night to do a little bit of sewing and then another half an hour or so at nap time today, and I have managed to sew up quite a lot of the Hug hoodie actually. I'm not sure how much you can see of it because navy is such a tricky colour, but I have done this construction across the bottom here with this really interesting shaped hemband, and that was lots of fun to sew. In fact, this jumper, this hoodie, which I've sewn as a sweatshirt, has been really good fun to put together just because it's slightly different from the normal sweatshirts that I have made before in terms of the construction. And the sleeves are I think this is a raglan sleeve, and so I've not done one of those before, so that's been really interesting to do that as well. So the sleeves are in, they have got cuffs on them, and what is next tonight is to put in the neckband, which is never my favourite thing. I always think it's the last hurdle, so I hope, cross fingers, that that will go in smoothly, and then I will have a finished hoodie. So I will pop back on a little bit later on and let you know how that goes, and then if there is time tonight I'm going to make a start on my slow pants. Now what I'm wearing today, you can see this is my Camden skirt. The top is just a ready to wear turtleneck that I have in my wardrobe from before I was sewing, and then I was wearing my cord skirt today, so I'll pop in a photo so you can see what that looked like, and I'm going to get on with my sewing and I will pop back in shortly and let you know how I'm getting on. Hi, so you can see from the picture I have finished the hoodie and I will stand up. So you can see it's a casual, relaxed fit, but I'm really pleased with the way it fits. It sits just on my hips, and then the V at the front just cuts up across my hips. Let's see if I can show you. So there are my hips there. So it just cuts up a little bit, but it's perfect length I think for me. I'm just under 5'5", so just for your reference, if you want to make this pattern, it sits perfectly on me, and I did choose to make the size 10. I was a bit worried it might be a bit snug, but it's definitely not. I have plenty of ease. The sleeves for me are lovely and long. With the cuffs you can see they finish sort of just on my knuckles here. So that's quite nice for just a slouchy, relaxed sweater. So I'm really, really happy with this one. It's exactly what I wanted, just a relaxed, comfortable sweater for around the house. So I've then had a little bit of time left over after I finished this one to make a start on the joggers. Not sure how well you'll see these because the blue stripe is the same colour as my jumper, but I have sewn in the pocket which just sits on the inside of this stripe that I've sewn on. There we are. If I hold it up against the other leg you'll see the stripe there. So I really love that, and I think it'll be so nice with this top, which was the whole intention, to be able to make a set, a lounging set. And this fabric, which is from the rag shop, is so beautiful to work with. It really is so soft on the inside. I cannot wait to wear these. They are, I think, going to be quite snuggly and warm, which is great. That's what I was after. But yeah, they're just going to be really, really lush. So I'm very excited about these. The whole process of sewing both these patterns, I have to say, has been so enjoyable. I sometimes find knit projects are very quick and very straightforward and not always the most interesting to sew, but these patterns are both fantastic. I've really enjoyed the different challenges. I've not put pockets into knit fabric before, so that was a first for me, and lots and lots of fun constructing that. I really enjoyed this crossover front and the way that was constructed on the sweatshirt. So definitely enjoying these patterns and will be making them again for sure. The other thing I was going to share with you is something that arrived in the post today, and that was my lining fabric. So I only ordered it earlier in the week and it has already arrived, which is amazing. You won't be able to see much of this either. It's just a simple black lining, but I'm really excited about that. So that means I can, after I finish these joggers, crack on with my Bakerloo dress hack. So that's it for Thursday night. I am hoping to get a little bit of time to sew tomorrow over nap time, and then that will be it for my sewing for the week. My boys have a music group on a Friday evening, so that is what we'll be doing tomorrow night, and then I'll be sharing this video with you on Saturday. So I'm going to sign off here for tonight. Looking forward to doing some more sewing tomorrow and seeing if I can finish off these slow pants. Hi, it's Friday and I'm going to try and get these slow pants finished today so that I can show you the finished, hopefully, ensemble. So yesterday I got up to, it's quite hard to see, this part here where I'd done the two front legs with the pockets, so you can just see that open there, and this gorgeous blue stripe down the side. So I've got two front legs done, so I've got to join them to the back legs, sew up the inside leg seam and add a waistband. So once I've done that, we'll have some finished trousers and then hopefully I'll be able to show you the finished outfit in a little bit. Hi, so I thought I would share my finished make with you. I haven't done the hems yet on the trousers and I need to head off shortly to get my children, so I'm not going to have time to hem them, but I thought I would show you the finished ensemble anyway. So you can just see the top of the trousers here with the lovely navy band down the side and the pockets. So I'm really pleased to have pockets. They do tend to splay out just slightly over the hips, but I think that's fine for these. They're just going to be worn in the house anyway, and they're very, very cozy and comfy, so that's good. The waist does sit exactly on my natural waist, which is good, so I'm really glad that I went for the 12 at the waist because that's a good fit across the back as well, and it is perfect in terms of the rise. So I obviously cut the size 16 here across the hips, which again, I'm really glad I cut the size 16 across the hips. I think that's the perfect fit for me, and it gives me a great crotch depth, and yeah, I'm pleased with my loungewear outfit. I will definitely be making this again, and I really do think the trousers are, for me, the right kind of shape for my body type. So yes, I think these trousers are a good shape for my particular figure, and I'm really happy with this style of jogger. I might try them next time without the pockets, just to see if that just sits slightly flatter across my hips, but for what I wanted, which was a comfy, cozy loungewear set, I am super, super pleased with this make. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's video and seeing what I've got up to this week in terms of my sewing. Little bits here and there, but I have managed to make some loungewear that I'm really excited to wear, so I hope you did enjoy seeing that. I am sad that I didn't get my Bakerloo dress hack done, but now that the lining has arrived, I'm sure I will get that made in time to share in my January makes video, so do come back and watch that one. If you haven't yet subscribed, it would be so great if you would, and click on that notification bell so that you'll be made aware of when I publish new videos. And if you have enjoyed today's video, please do hit the like button as well, as that is really encouraging for me and it does help YouTube to then share my video with other people who might also enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really lovely week of sewing, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.